There we are. All right. So, hi, my name is Neal, and I am the product manager for ProcessMaker Platform. I've been with ProcessMaker for about 1.5 years, and I'm excited to share what you can expect from ProcessMaker Platform on the road ahead, along with a deeper dive into our upcoming lifecycle management features. As we go, if you have any questions, feel free to put them into the chat. We'll revisit those for our Q&A. To start, however, I'd like to revisit what we at ProcessMaker strive to achieve every day. Our purpose, you can find it on our website, you can ask any ProcessMaker employee, is to make every second count. This is what guides many of the decisions we make every day and how we try to create value for our partners, customers, and end users. There's more that goes into this. Our purpose isn't just something picked at random one day, but is informed by the bones of what makes ProcessMaker what it is. It starts with our vision. There is always a better way. That is at the heart of ProcessMaker. ProcessMaker is built on the idea that whatever we are working on, it can always be even better. From there, our mission, empower change makers to simplify the way custom business processes are built and run. It's not only about always improving, but also to make the things we do easier and more understandable, creating efficiencies that make our businesses better every day. So when we say make every second count, we're not just trying to give you a few minutes back in your day here or there. We want our customers to truly realize value from what ProcessMaker lets them do. It's not just making extra seconds. It's about making each second we have count for more. To fulfill on this, we listen to our most important stakeholders, our users. Through feedback, support tickets, interviews, and more, we made sure to hear what our customers need to truly make every second count. And it came down to these 3 categories. Complexity. The challenges your business face on a daily basis are complex. They involve multiple parties, multiple systems, and often dense or sensitive data. You need a tool set that can handle myriad use cases, because looking across our processes, there are virtually no solutions that are truly identical. The needs of your businesses require a level of deftness in their solutions that cannot be overlooked. Next, visibility. With solutions to complex challenges, understanding those solutions becomes an important part of operating them. Seeing how your solution is performing, keeping track of your requests, and accessing data from those requests are all vital to continuing to improve. Lastly, speed. This applies to both development and the eventual solution. Our users need a tool that will help them get to good faster. And furthermore, their solutions must provide that value to their end users as well. My engineering manager, Ryan, will have more to say on this in just a bit, but suffice to say, this is a major priority for us moving forward. So we've heard you, and we are launching initiatives as we speak to deliver on those goals. On our website, you can find this quote from Brian Reel, our CEO. We want to make it as easy as possible to automate complex enterprise-level processes. Delivering on that promise is essential to everything we do at ProcessMaker. This is what we show up for every day. This is how we make every second count. And this is our commitment to you to deliver the complexity, visibility, and speed you need now and in the future. So speaking of the future, we have a lot of change and growth coming. As many of you know, we recently incorporated intelligent document processing into our portfolio, and we don't plan to stop there. As Brian and Jose have discussed, we're looking at technologies all across hyperautomation initiatives to continue to develop our offering. As part of that, we're investing in our teams to support that growth, expanding our product team, doubling our engineering resources, and bringing in more expertise in these technologies. As your business grows, we plan to grow with you. And to reiterate what our leadership has shared with you thus far, our aim is for ProcessMaker to not only be a way for you to automate your business processes, but to be your dedicated automation solution, driving efficiency across your organization, supporting your digital transformation efforts, and helping you be better every day. Here's what that means for the year ahead with ProcessMaker Platform. Jose shared some broad strokes of areas of focus for us, but I wanted to call out a few specific themes to delve deeper into. These features are planned to help bring ProcessMaker Platform forward, following our commitment to complexity, visibility, and speed. Ryan will also share some technical improvements we have planned. I'll get into a few of these more specifically on future slides, but here you can see we plan a mixture of, first, new technologies to bring into our platform, IDP and RPA integrations, plus integration with other connector marketplaces. Second, multiple areas of focus on enabling more rapid development and expanding the ProcessMaker platform toolset. And third, developing flexibility with process development and visibility. We'll certainly share more on these initiatives as they near release. Specifically relating to complexity, here are a couple feature sets I wanted to highlight. First, the ProcessMaker rules engine. Using no-code tools, our engine will allow you to create dozens or even hundreds of rules to be utilized in a single task in your BPMN. Combining this with our upcoming dynamic assignment rules, a feature allowing user, group, and self-service assignments using request data, will allow you to navigate complex task assignments and get the right data to the right users in your organization. In a world where AI is increasingly becoming present in our processes, this functionality can help you not only escalate a case to a human when needed, but make sure it goes to the person who needs to make that decision. Second, we're implementing a suite of lifecycle management tools and peace of mind features to help you navigate development with ease. As Jose mentioned, we're implementing an autosave feature into our process modeler, combined with direct publishing options so you never lose your work and always have control over when and how your process goes live. Complementing this is a more robust import and export toolset to enable updates to existing processes across environments, sharing complete processes with colleagues, and more. We'll do a deeper dive on this feature for you at the end of this presentation. Regarding visibility for your solutions, analytics is a focus for our entire year, but as we define exactly how we implement a robust analytics offering, I wanted to dive into a couple of specifics. Our aim here is to increase the performance of our reporting and put more tools into your analytics capabilities. Firstly, regarding how your data is managed, we're implementing a data lake on the back end to create additional data redundancy and handle higher query volumes more efficiently. This will also allow customers to access more data relating to their process performance. Adding to that, we're developing predefined reports and dashboards to share with all of you that will answer some of your most common questions about your process. How many people are using my process? Are they getting through to my desired business outcome? What can I do to make my process more efficient? As Jose has covered, this is just the start of a significant focus on analytics we're adopting moving forward. What I've covered here is just where we're starting with. There will be more to come. Now, to talk a bit more about how we'll be approaching speed and some additional technical considerations, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Ryan.
Thank you very much, Neal. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm really excited to talk to and hear from so many of our users. My name is Ryan Cooley. I'm the engineering manager for ProcessMaker. Let's get into what we've built here at ProcessMaker over the past year. We produced 10 new releases of ProcessMaker Platform. This included over 500 improvements to the platform. As Neal mentioned, we're not slowing down, but this year we're focusing on innovation and balance. As with many things in life, balance is key. Balance between simplicity and complexity. How do we take complex technical solutions but present them to users in a simple way? Balance between complexity and speed. Complexity does not always lend itself to speed. The more complex a solution is, the more computing resources it will often take. Finally, balance between speed and security. In computer science, speed and security do not always go hand in hand. So how do we find the right balance? One area where we're striving to find the right balance is with our open source workflow engine, Nayra. Nayra is an Aymara word meaning eye. It's an eye that's clairvoyant, that can see everything clearly, and resolves issues others can't even see. And really, that's what Nayra is to ProcessMaker. It is the engine that powers everything we do, the all-seeing eye that orchestrates your processes to help make every second count. Now, let's talk a little bit about the architecture behind Nayra. As I mentioned, Nayra orchestrates your processes, and it does so using BPMN 2.0. Script tasks in your process map run containerized. This provides an enhanced level of security because code is executed separately from the host machine and therefore separately from the application code, separately from the database, and separately from secured memory. Second, it limits resource usage. By running script tasks in a container, we can ensure that any code running there adheres to the limits we set and does not slow down other parts of the application. Third, it gives us enormous flexibility. Out of the box, you can run PHP, JavaScript, Python, C#, Java, Lua, and many more. And with custom executors, you can bring in your own libraries and essentially run any language that you want. Now, speaking of balance, this does come with one trade-off, and that is it does introduce a performance penalty. Because code is running in a container, we have a bit of a startup cost as this container spins up. Now, in most processes, you're not going to notice this, especially if your script task is running asynchronously. But in scenarios where you need to run multiple script tasks successively, or where users are waiting on feedback, every second really does count. So we wanted to do better. And we set out to answer one big question. How do we find that sweet spot? How do we find the right balance between security and speed? Coming this year, we're introducing Nayra 2.0. Nayra 2.0 still maintains separation between host and executor, but we've eliminated the performance penalty of having to spin up a new container for every script task, which means they will run much, much faster. Additionally, in-memory execution enables more massive speed improvements because we don't have to rely on the database layer every step of the way. Finally, it is fully backward compatible with existing processes. Now, one of our engineers, David, developed a proof of concept version of Nayra 2.0 and decided to put it to the test. We created, as you see here, a simple process to execute a script task, followed by another set of parallel script tasks. We also tested a similar process with sequential script execution instead of parallel execution. We then ran this in ProcessMaker Nayra 1.0, which is our current software, and our Nayra 2.0 proof of concept. So how did we do? Well, a process with sequential scripts executed in just over 1.4 seconds. The process with parallel scripts executed in 1.8 seconds. Again, in the context of a normal process, not bad. But when every second counts, we think we can do better. So running the process in our Nayra 2.0 proof of concept yielded a 1.3 millisecond execution time in both sequential and parallel processes. And that's not a typo. That is 1.3 milliseconds. That is over 1,000 times faster than Nayra 1.0. So with Nayra 2.0, we are demonstrating our commitment here at ProcessMaker to not only making every second count, but to making every millisecond count. Now, earlier, I mentioned balance. Another area where we are striving to find balance is something that Neal mentioned earlier, that's lifecycle management. We know that your processes are complex, and deploying them between development and production environments needs to be as simple as possible. We think we found the right balance with our new import-export features. Neal will be showing off that new feature in a moment, but first I want to get into a bit of the technical detail. We wanted to make it easier to move your process from development to production. So we're introducing the ability to update your processes on import. The challenge here is that a process contains a lot of complex moving parts. Almost no process stands alone, but it contains many references to other assets in the system, from screens and scripts to data connectors and email configurations. So how do we enable this complex functionality while keeping things simple for our users? First, let me give you some background. By default, every asset in our system already has an auto-incrementing primary key as its ID. Of course, this is a sequential ID, which means it's unique to the system that it's on, but it's not universally unique. That means it would be difficult to enable this update on import functionality that we're talking about. So we decided to start laying the groundwork for this a few versions ago, and we introduced UUIDs to every single exportable asset. That is an ID that is totally unique, which means that if we ever try to export it from one server to another and we find a matching unique ID on the target server, we know to provide the user with the option of updating that asset rather than simply creating a copy as we do now. There are also some unique cases where we need to perform mapping to other assets in the system that will not have unique IDs. These are assets such as signals or users, for example. And for that, we can use name or email address to match these assets. Additionally, exported files now support encryption for sensitive data. For example, your process may contain API keys and data connectors or sensitive environment variables that are already encrypted at rest in our database. For those types of processes, we enforce encryption to ensure that your data stays safe. For other processes, we make it optional. Once encryption is enabled, the user sets an encryption key and the exported file is protected solely by that key. Nobody else can unlock it. So now that I've laid that groundwork, without further ado, I'll hand it back over to Neal for a demo.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. All right. So our new import and export feature, I've gone ahead and created a couple of processes in this environment. So to start, let's go ahead and export one of these. So as part of the new export process, you will be able to conduct a basic export, which follows the same process as it does now. Predominantly, it still gives you the option for encryption, but it just downloads your process and all related assets. However, you can also customize which assets are included in your export file. Say if you're still working on a screen that is not ready to be moved to a production environment. So to show you how that works, when you come to the customized export option, you'll see this screen. Now, this is a summary of your process at a high level and gives you a little bit of information on what is included in this export. So this is a fairly simple process that I did for demonstration purposes. So we only have one of each of these types. However, you can select, I understand that my data connectors may contain sensitive information, so I may choose to not export those. I can still choose to password protect my export, but now it is no longer required since I don't have sensitive data in it. To get a little bit more detail on what might be included, I can navigate to each of these asset types and get a better understanding of what is the data connector and what is the top level information I need to know about it. Now, from here, why don't we go ahead and scroll down and click export. So I have selected to create a password and encrypt this, even though it's not required for this one. So I'm going to set my password. And this is a minimum of 8 characters just to make sure we are enforcing, high security, and I will export that. So this gives you a completed modal to let you know, hey, here's what you've exported. You've chosen not to export the data connector, but you now have that export package. So coming back to the process list, I will now choose to import that same package. And I can either navigate to it, or I can just click and drag it onto this spot. Now it requires the password that I put in, and click import. Now you are presented with a very similar option for how you may want to import a process. So again, basic functions fairly similarly. It just brings everything in the package through, but you can also customize from this end. Say if you've received a process from a colleague institution and they use a different branding, and so you don't want to bring in their screens, for whatever myriad reasons. So you'll see we no longer have the data connector included here. You can now see what is included here with some additional information around whether or not the element is completely new, or if it has found a matching element in the system, at which point this is an updated version of that element. So I can select or deselect what I want to import. In this particular case, I'm going to choose to import all process elements. Again, you can see a little bit of information here. So I'll choose to import. Now, since it has seen, hey, this process already exists, this screen already exists, this script already exists, as we know, since we exported from this environment, it is now giving you the option to say, you can either import all of these as new assets so that you're not overwriting your current ones. However, if you would like, if this is an intentional update, you can simply update your current assets. For the purposes of this, I will just click update. And as you will see, once it brings us back to the process list, brings us to the process first. This new process has been modified just now, and we have not created a new one. So that is our import export feature. Whoops, there we go. And so I would love to leave with some closing words. Today, make every second count means more than just shaving some seconds off of your business processes. It is a commitment to enable your users to make your businesses better, to give you the tools you need to capture your business goals, and to be your partner on your digital transformation journey from today to tomorrow and beyond. We are honored to work with you, and I look forward to seeing everything that we can accomplish together. Thank you very much for joining today. If there are questions, Ryan and I are happy to take the rest of the time today to share what answers we can.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, we actually do have a few questions here. One key feature is managing labor calendar and holidays, as a system could calculate the real time extended on a particular task. Are you considering this?
I want to make sure I understand the question. Keep managing labor calendar and holidays, system could calculate the real time expended. Sorry, I'm better at reading than I am at hearing. Yes. So this is something that we want to look into. First, as I mentioned, we are implementing some of these analytics features just to give you access to time on task, to understanding more about how your process runs. But in order to make meaningful use of that, we do want to make sure that we're considering business hours. So this is something we are looking into.
Perfect. The next question. Say a user wants to raise a ticket from an email to start a process. Is this currently possible, or will be it possible in the future?
Start process. Ryan, I see you're going to answer this question as it's listed there.
Yeah, I think this is possible via our data connectors. So you're able to tie into APIs that involve emails. So you can tie into Amazon SES or something like that. And any inbound emails would trigger a process to start within ProcessMaker. So this is possible by using our data connectors feature.
Thank you, Ryan. And looks like we have one more question. Considering process exports will have the option to include data connectors, will process exports also include collections that are used by certain data connectors? Or will those collections be exported and imported separately?
So this is something we actually went a little bit back and forth on during the design phase of this feature. Ultimately, understanding that collections can contain very sensitive information, we wanted to make sure that we gave you similar options for how you might want to export or import a collection, similar to the advanced export we have for a process. So we have created that option to export a collection separately. However, as part of that, you can customize it to be able to export only the structure of the collection, so you're not exporting the records, to include or exclude any additional data connectors as well. So we are keeping those separate, but we have implemented more advanced functionality on the collections export and import as well.